Now we will go over the Unit 12 post-lesson assessment for the adult course on the credit creation and money multiplier and the commercial and investment banks. So the first question is, how does fractional reserve banking work? So savers deposit money in banks, and they will get a rate of return from the bank. From the deposits that savers make, banks create loans of a certain percentage, not the full deposit, but a certain percentage of the deposit to lend to borrowers, and they charge an interest rate. The greater the interest rate, the greater the rate of return. That's the bank profit. But the idea here is that when you actually send out that loan, that some of that money is going to come back and be deposited within the bank, thereby creating not money, but credit within the bank. Then from that money that comes back in to the bank, that credit that comes back in, you can actually issue more loans, which then will bring back money back into the bank, again, increasing the credit of the bank, which allows you to send out more loans and so on. And in doing so, you can seemingly create credit out of thin air by loaning the deposited money, having that deposited money come back to you from other sources as a source of, quote, new money, unquote, and sending more out as loans to come back to the bank from different, from where the person who took the loan is spending their money. This then gets us to the money multiplier equation. The money multiplier equation tells you that for a certain amount of money that you deposit in the bank, how much credit can you generate? And so the money multiplier equation is 1 divided by the reserve ratio. Now, in the United States, the reserve ratio, that is the amount of deposited money that you must keep in the bank and not loan out, is 10%. And so in the United States, the money multiplier is 1 divided by the reserve ratio, or 1 divided by 0.1, which is equal to 10. So you can essentially create 10 times the credit for every dollar that is deposited into the bank. Now, commercial versus investment banks. The functions of a commercial banks are kind of the ones that where the average person walking around does business, and the functions they do business with. Essentially, they accept savings, they lend money, and can act as a financial intermediary. They allow payments from one agent to another, and they can issue financial advice. Now, none of these are particularly profitable. It's much more profitable to be an investment bank. So investment banks do the following things. They can do proprietary trading, so they can get a better rate of return by buying bonds and derivatives, making profits. They can create markets so that shares of various stocks and bonds can be bought and sold secondarily. They can help with mergers and acquisition. So essentially, that's an advisory role for companies, telling them, how to do it, when to do it, how to structure the deal for the merger, doing their due diligence to make sure that the group that is buying out the other isn't being predatory, making sure all the paperwork is legal, and marketing it so that the populace in the markets don't panic. They can also form new issues. So if companies want to issue bonds or shares, they'll often go to investment banks in order to get them in contact with the new buyers, essentially creating that market as a primary market. And the investment banks can also work on the marketing for that as well in order to get the word out that these new bonds and shares exist.